Well, someone's been a naughty boy, boys and girls. I'm very, very disappointed. Someone's been very, very naughty. No, I know what you're thinking, it's me. Why have I got this reputation of being naughty all the time? It wasn't me. Here is a clue. Okay, here is a clue. It concerns my sister's family. Yes, I'm shocked and horrified. I don't know what people are going to think. I really don't. And I feel it necessary to ask on behalf of her family for forgiveness for this sin. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It was so many years since my last confession. Was it my sister? No, I did say someone's been a naughty boy, and she's hardly a boy, is she? Huh? Was it her husband? No, it wasn't her husband either. Huh? Oh, hang on. What have I done wrong? Have I done something wrong? Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. Stop panicking. Don't panic, as I said on Dad's Army. Was it Gary? No. Was it Tracy? I told you. It was a boy. Someone's been a naughty boy. It was my younger nephew, Jimmy. 11 years old. No, he's 12 now. Was his birthday on the 1st of April. April Fool's Day. Oh, yeah. Kind of makes sense, really. Boys and girls, my nephew is on school report. Da, da, da! Now, mothers and fathers all up and down the country will know exactly what I mean by that. He is on school report because he's been a naughty boy. Not just once, but on several occasions. And what he has to do, he's got this little bit of paper or a book or something. And every lesson, the teacher has to place next to that particular lesson on the bit of paper either a tick or a cross. Usually, they go on school report for 1 week. So he did. At the end of the week, they look through this bit of paper and see how many ticks and crosses there are. And there are 3 different types of paper. There is a green paper, which is like the first report. There is a yellow paper, which is slightly more serious. And there is a piece of red paper, and you do not want to get the bit of red paper, lovey. Unfortunately, the first green paper, he didn't get enough ticks. And we need more ticks. Jimmy, please. We want to see ticks. He had more crosses than ticks. So, he was then put on, I believe, the next piece of paper, which is yellow. It's all very worrying. And at the moment, he is attempting to fill up that piece of paper with ticks. I don't know how far he's got so far. And the thing is, he never told me himself this. Oh, no. It came round the block from my sister, who is horrified. As horrified as I am, I'm very disappointed. So people, I know some of you have become a friend of my nephew on his Facebook. If you are, will you please show your disgust at him by sending him some sort of message like Chris Reardon says, your Uncle Chris says, you need to get more ticks. We need more ticks. I mean, if I could give him ticks, I would do. Believe me, I'd sit here ticking as much as I possibly could. I have no idea how far he's got on his second. Oh, it just gets worse and worse. Not only 1 week on report, this is his 2nd week on report. 2 weeks, dear. I never got into trouble like that. No. We need more ticks. So if you are one of his Facebook friends, and I know some of you, the younger ones listening and watching, I think Yannick in Germany is one of Jimmy's Facebook friends. Could you just send him a little message on there saying, what did you do so bad at school? We know. And he'll sit there wondering, how do they know? Shh, don't tell him I told you, okay? Yeah, that's an idea. Send him a message, if you know him, and say, why are you getting so many crosses on your report form? And he won't have a clue where it's come from, because he doesn't watch this programme. I mean, you just don't get the support from friends and family, do you? Eh? You really don't. So there we are. Now, what was he on? Oh, you're asking what he was on report for? Well, I only heard about 2 items. Number 1, apparently in a science lesson, while everyone was standing around near this tap, not a gas tap, fortunately, for this water tap, he waited until they all closed and then turned it on really fast and everyone got wet. It's not funny. Don't laugh. This is a serious matter here. On report, my nephew. My God, it might be in the local paper, mightn't it? Where's he live? Woodhall Spa in Lincolnshire, they all live. What if it's in the local paper? I will never be able to show my face in public again. To have a member of the family on school report. I will never, ever be able to show my face in public again if this gets out. Please, keep it just between you and me, okay? Send him a message and say, please, Jimmy, try and get some more ticks on your school report form. Can you do that for me? The other incident, apparently, or there's been a few of these, is apparently he likes to back-chat the teachers. Now, I'm not sure what is meant by that. What do they mean by back-chatting the teachers? Is it like, Jimmy, can you keep quiet? And then he comes back with something, like, really sharp. Because he is a bit sharp, you see. He's quite quick like that. If you say something, he can come straight back to you. And he's only 11. I think he's an ideal candidate for another chat show. I can see him doing his own podcast in years to come. Hopefully, when he starts doing his own chat show, maybe he will. Perhaps people will have forgotten about the fact that once in his life, he was on school report. So I want you to kneel down with me now and pray that my nephew Jimmy this week at school completes an entire sheet of yellow paper with ticks on it. We need more ticks. Oh, Father in heaven, please let my nephew get more ticks. Thank you. Something like that. All right, so I'm sorry to bring you that news. I was going to try and keep it from you. But you know how these things are. Gossip gets around, doesn't it? You try and hide your skeletons in the cupboard, but they have a way of resurfacing when you don't want them to. And I can just see myself on one of the national television stations here in the UK, the BBC probably. I can see myself on there being interviewed about doing this chat show or something else. How long have you been doing it? Oh, about three and a half years now. Oh, right. And what else do you do where you're laughing? And then they come out with it. Can I ask you another question? And I'm like, yeah, whatever you want. Is it true that your nephew was once on school report? And it will all come out in the open then, you see? You see it in the newspapers, don't you? Members of Parliament and famous people. Suddenly the newspapers, they bring up all the rubbish about you, don't they? I can see it now on the front page of News of the World. Chris Reardon's nephew was on school report. Oh, God, it's all over, isn't it? I should never be allowed back into church, if they find this out. I'll be excommunicated from the Catholic Church because of this. I know I will. What can I do? Please, Jimmy, get some more ticks. That's the bad news today. The good news is that I'm still here. Hello, my name's Chris Reardon. This is United Kingdom Talk, my 3 times a week talk show. You can find the main United Kingdom Talk website at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, were there any bad things that you did at school? Did you ever get into trouble for anything? Did you ever get into serious trouble about anything? If so, I want to know about it. Email me and let me know, okay? The email address of the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. What did you do at school that was very naughty? Did you get caught? What was the punishment? What did your mum and dad do, if you have a mum and dad? Or whoever looks after you, what did they do? Did they side with you, or did they side with the school? Were you punished? I want to know the ins and outs. Come on. If you want to remain anonymous, if you did something to someone and you want to remain anonymous about that, some sort of practical joke or something like that, then just put, please don't read my name, but I want the stories of what you did naughty at school. Come on. There must have been one or two of you were very naughty. I can imagine Joe Morris from AmericanTalkUSA.com. That's another podcast, AmericanTalkUSA.com. I can imagine Joe actually being very naughty. I don't know why, Joe. I just get this feeling you were very bad at school. Am I right? Let me know. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. What did I do bad at school? Well, when I was at primary school, I remember for some reason locking the headmistress. I've been sent down to the headmistress. I don't know what for. I cannot remember anything about that school, my primary school, when I was about 6 or 7 years old, I think. And I remember, this is the only bit about that school I can remember. I remember locking the headmistress in her office. And she was banging on the door. Open this door now. She was. And I ran away and I hid in the cloakroom cum toilets. And I remember what the cloakroom and the toilets looked like. And yet I remember not what any other part of that school looked like. Isn't that strange? I remember the headmistress's door. I don't remember what it was like in her office. I remember then running and hiding in the cloakroom where we put the coats, and it was like a toilets as well, like all in one type of thing. I remember that room. I don't know why. It was very old-fashioned and Victorian. And I don't remember what punishment I got for that. I remember then her coming to the class for me. I don't remember anyone at all in the class. I don't remember what the class looked like or anything. And that's it. That's all I remember about that particular school. So I think that was naughty. And then in my secondary school, I went to the London Oratory School in Fulham. All boys school, Catholic. And there, what did I do wrong there? Just nothing horrific or anything like that. I always used to talk at the back of the class. Oh, that's it. Yeah, I used to speak at the back of the class. I kept doing it one day, and then they sent me down to the headmaster, and I was caned. Yes, I was not verbally. I was physically. I had capital punishment. I was made to lean over onto a chair, and he whacked me with this cane. Actually, I had it twice. Once was with the deputy headmaster, and once was with the headmaster. Now, he was called Mr. Gaffney. He's died now. Very, very strict. Very, very strict headmaster. And I think the worst part of being caned was he's there telling you what you've done wrong and all this, and don't do it again. And then he said, right, I will have to cane you for this offence. And then he went to this cupboard, opened the door, and he pulled out this cane, and it was the biggest stick you've ever seen. It was wobbling as he... It was wobbling as he took it out of the cupboard and brought it over. We got caned on the bum, not on the hand. I would imagine the hand's a lot worse, I would have thought. Because then you can't write, can you, or anything like that? I suppose, I don't know. And he caned me as well. So I had it twice, actually. Just for talking at the back of the class. It was quite a strict school. It was a good school. I have so much praise for the way that school was run. Very strict. There was never any trouble in there or anything like that. You often hear of schools on the television and children throwing chairs at teachers and all this business. There was none of that there at all. None of that at all. So there we are. They're my two incidents. Not very exciting, really, is it? What was something else I did? I'm sure there was something else. Oh, I used to what we call bunk off. That's when you leave school when you're not supposed to leave school, okay? I used to bunk off from games, yeah. Not until I was about 15. When I was in the sixth form, I never used to go to games. We used to leave the school at lunchtime and we'd just go down and sit down the cafe for 2 hours in Putney. There was like a cafe opposite the tube station. Just sat in there drinking tea and eating crisps for a couple of hours. Never ever went to games in a sixth form. I hated it. I hated games so much. And the other thing I used to do, and I did get caught for this as well, actually, but nothing was done. I used to smoke in the toilets. That's when I used to smoke. Yes. And I remember you'd go in the toilets and you'd go in a little cubicle, lock the door, sit down on the toilet and have a cigarette. Because the most ridiculous thing you could ever do. I mean, the whole toilet used to smell of cigarettes. It was a dead giveaway. Why on earth, as a child, I thought that I wouldn't be caught smoking in the toilet because the door was closed. Think about it. What does smoke do? I mean, it stinks, doesn't it? And it creates a plume of smoke coming up from the top of the toilet. Because the trouble is with school toilets, and I hate toilets like this, the doors don't go all the way up, do they? They're more like panels. Oh, I hate it. I hate those, and it's like in public toilets as well, isn't it? When you're using a public toilet anywhere, don't you hate those toilets that are just panels? Because you never thought someone's going to look over the top or look under the bottom. It scares me. I mean, no one ever has. I don't think they have anyway. I hate those. Anyway, the school toilets are always like that. They've got like panels. So, of course, you're sitting in there smoking a cigarette. And whoever else is in the toilet can see it coming over the top, or at least smell it. I always remember being in there once and I was having a cigarette just before lunch. And I heard the door go in the main toilet, so I knew someone had come in. And then I saw like this pair of feet with black shoes under the door, and I thought, oh no, it must be a teacher. So I finished my cigarette and quickly put a Polo in my mouth. Polo is a mint. I always used to have a Polo after a cigarette to try and hide the smell of the cigarette. Did you do this? You know exactly what I'm talking about, didn't you? I bet you did this, didn't you? And I opened the door, and there was standing Mr. Urquhart, the house teacher, head of house teacher. And I looked at him, and he looked at me. He says, "Come along now, boy. Run along, it's lunchtime. Don't let me catch you in here again." And off I went quickly, so I didn't get into trouble for that. But of course he knew I smoked, didn't he? He must have known. And you think they don't... That's the funny thing about it. As a child, you think they don't know. Don't you? You sit there, you smoke your cigarette, you stink of smoke when you come out. He must have seen the smoke coming up the top and smelt it. And even when you open that door and you look at the teacher and he looks at you and you think he doesn't know. What is all that about, eh? Come on, boys and girls, what did you do wrong at school? Were you caught for it? What was the punishment? Let me know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Just to let you know, I'm waiting on two things today. First is a rather important phone call about one of the flats that I do a bit with property. I rent a couple of flats I rent out, and there's a problem with one of them, so I'm waiting for a phone call. I might have to take that while the show's on, okay? And also, I'm waiting for the man from Virgin Media, who is my internet service provider, to come today and install my 50 meg broadband speed. Yes, the motorway is getting faster. Now, if he comes while I'm doing the show today, I'll have to stop and start again, okay? Well, I won't start again. We'll save this little bit, the first bit. We'll kind of have a little commercial break of about 5 seconds, which means I've stopped the camera and the recording stuff, and a little jingle, and then I can start again and finish the show, because we don't want to waste what I've done already. You know, I don't like waste. Okay, so that's that. What else have we had? Oh, Mother's Day. Yes, we've had Mother's Day now. I know it was a couple of weeks ago, but that's how it is, okay? We had Mother's Day. I didn't actually go down to Mum and Dad's grave on Mother's Day, because I thought, oh, well, it's going to be packed. The roads are horrific. You've got all these people who come out who only visit their mum once a year. Oh, it's horrendous. And they try and make it up with a sad little old bunch of flowers from the petrol garage or the supermarket, don't they? Oh, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Anyway, so I didn't go on Mother's Day. I went the next day, and I got some flowers. I got the flowers from a supermarket as well, in Asda, which is in Roehampton. Mum and Dad are buried right behind the supermarket, actually, which is rather nice, because when you're in the supermarket, you feel quite close to them. They're like a matter of 30 yards or so from where I'm actually shopping, which is quite nice. So I found some daffodils, because I think they were one of my mum's favourite flowers. So I got some daffodils and white carnations. I didn't get some plants to do the grave up, and the reason for that is we're not over the frost yet. I mean, it's been reasonable, all the weather here. I haven't had any frost at the moment, but we're not over that yet. Sometimes it comes back again at Easter when you least expect it, and then you lose all your plants, and it was a waste of money, you see. So I don't do those yet. Anyway, so I went to Asda first, and I had my dinner in there, which was rather nice. What did I have? Steak and mushroom pie, chips, baked beans, and a cup of tea. And what else did I have? Did I have a pudding or not? No, I think that was about £5. So, and very nice in Asda. I like their food in there. They've got this like little restaurant cafe area. You know, nothing flash or anything like that, just a basic cafe type thing. So I had that there. Then I went and got the flowers. That's all I wanted, the flowers. And then drove back out to the cemetery, which is right next to the supermarket, as I say. And when I got to the cemetery, and when I got to my mum's grave, I was pleasantly surprised, because of course I'd completely forgotten that back in October last year, I actually went down there and planted rather a large amount of bulbs, and they were all up, and it looks beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. Lots of little mini, what are they called? Mini daffodils were up. Really nice. And I'll tell you what, I did take a photo of it. I'll put it up on my main United Kingdom Talk website, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, if you want to have a look at me mum and dad's grave and how it's looking at the moment. It's really nice. And I'm pleased about that. unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. If you look at the show dated, and I'm gonna have to look this up actually. Let me just see here. Got the computer next to me. 1 minute. Which show is this we're doing? I get confused. I can only tell you the date that the show will be up on the. There we are. Saturday the 4th of April is the show you want to be looking at. Now, of course. Sorry, I've just turned my head around, so you might not be able to hear me properly. Yeah, it's Saturday. If you go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, It's the show dated Saturday the 4th of April, okay? Saturday the 4th of April. Now, that, of course, is not necessarily the date for you today while you're watching or listening to this show. That is the date the podcast version of this show comes out, okay? So if you look at that again, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. If you look at the show dated Saturday the 4th of April, then you'll see a picture of the grave how it is at the moment. I'm quite proud of that, the way the little flowers have all come up. And so there we are. I didn't actually need the flowers anyway. And then I put the other daffodils, the normal-sized daffodils, and white carnations. I think they were white ones in that little grid thing. That, you know, where you have a grave and you have that thing in the middle that you put water into and then put the flowers in. So I put them in there. It's all looking rather spiffing, I think. There we are. But I do hate it. And I mentioned this a few months ago. I hate it when you go to cemeteries and you see plastic flowers. I just think that's so tacky and awful. I suppose people do it because they think it lasts longer, but they look dreadful. They look dreadful. I mean, it's bad enough when they're new. You can always tell. I mean, it really is bad enough when they're new. But as a couple of months passes, the colours in the plastic start to fade, don't they? Oh, and it just looks awful. I hate plastic flowers. I think, you know, even if you just go once a year, do the grave up once a year with normal plants, okay, let them die. You know, if they die, they die. But don't put those plastic plants on there. They're just dreadful to hear. Do you ever go around people's houses and they've got a vase full of plastic tulips or something like that? Oh, God. Isn't it horrendous? So that's that. Usually where we were brought up in Roehampton, and that's where Mum and Dad are buried. They're buried not too far away from where we lived, actually. And usually I do have a little drive around there after I visited the grave, but I didn't have time on this particular day, so I drove straight home. But I've kind of driven around my old hometown on many occasions and been sort of disappointed, really. There used to be a road we would walk down. We lived at a place called Hersham Close, HERSHAMCLOSE, Hersham Close, Southwest 15, which is just right on the outskirts of London, but part of London. And we used to walk down the road, Harbridge Avenue, that was it. No, not Harbridge Avenue. There's the name of that road now. Can't remember now. We used to walk down Danebury Avenue, right down from one end to the other. And you couldn't walk down there without 3, 4, 5 or 6 people saying hello as you walked either down or up again. It's nice, isn't it? You walk all the way down, people would say hello as they came up, and you wouldn't necessarily know them personally by name, but you know how it is when you keep seeing someone. Eventually you do sort of acknowledge them, like nod your head or say hello. And on the times I've driven around there now, I just don't recognise anyone at all. Strange, isn't it? How time moves on. And yet, there has been occasions I love the house I'm at. I love it here in Bracknell, here in Berkshire, where this show comes from and where I live. I love it here. I love being surrounded by the pine trees, the tall pine trees, the grass. We have a reasonably sized forest within 5 minutes walk from my house. The shops, well, I mean, they're basic, they're okay. It's great here. I live right next to, very close to 3 swimming pools. 3, 1 small one and 2 larger ones. Right? And I do feel that this is my home. But there has been a couple of occasions recently where I do feel a little bit out on a limb. Most of my friends live in different parts of London. In fact, I would say 98% of my friends do all live in London. And no one is really closer than an hour's drive away. No one can, or no one indeed does pop round. You know when you pop round to someone's house? Don't have any of that here at all. I'm not asking you to feel sorry or anything like that. Don't start feeling sad. But you do. You sometimes think, what would it be like to move back to where I lived in Roehampton? And there's been occasions where I've looked on the internet at the house prices and things like that. And, of course, being more in London, they're much more expensive than they are here. If I was to move to Roehampton from where I came, to get what I have now, I would have to spend probably another £60,000 or £70,000 and sell this house to pay for it. But in my mind, I'd probably want to, I'd want to go back to the church that I was brought up with. St. Joseph's Catholic Church, Roehampton. That's where I was brought up. St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Roehampton. I'd want to go over the Common. There's Wimbledon Common and there's Putney Heath. I'd want to go over there. I'd want to probably go and sit in a pub now and again that I used to go in, the Telegraph or the Highwayman. I'd want to walk up and down Roehampton Lane to my old school a couple of times. Just to do the walk. I'd want to go in the newsagent, which used to be called the Candy Shop. And the Co-op, that's still there. I'd want to visit my friends again. But of course, they're not there either. And you kind of think, so you would move back there, all the things and buildings would of course still be there, and indeed are. But the people aren't. And that's the thing. And I'm kind of wondering, have you actually done that? Has anyone sold up and, shall we say, moved back home to where you were brought up? And how was that? Did it work? Perhaps you don't need those original people to still be there. Is it the familiar setting of everything around you that was there as a child? Did you move back and did it work? Or was it a big mistake? Love to know that. Really would love to know that. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. The other thing that's happened in Roehampton is that now there are an awful lot of students there. Now, it is known for its colleges and places of learning there. And what's happened is that landlords have bought up a lot of the properties and the flats and rent them out to students. So there's now a much larger student population there than there was when I was there. Also, most people tell me it's a lot rougher now. I'm afraid to say, and this isn't particular to Roehampton, it happens at other places. I've been told there's a lot of drug dealing going on and general nastiness. Which is sad, because it wasn't there when I was being brought up. Mind you, was it anywhere in the 70s? It was very rare, wasn't it? No one knew. No one really knew anyone that was taking drugs or involved or selling the blooming stuff. Did you? I certainly didn't. As a child, I didn't know anything about it. It just didn't exist. Now and again, I might go out on a Saturday night and get drunk with a friend or two. But we weren't like totally legless like some of these people are now, 7 days a week. You could go in a block of flats and quite happily walk up some stairs and not worry that you were going to be bumped into someone who was sitting on the stairs smoking one of those funny cigarettes. Worried that as you went up the stairs, someone was going to get a hypodermic syringe and shove it in your leg on your way up. There were no entry phones on the doors. You didn't have to push a button and bars and who is it? Oh, it's me. Okay, I'll let you in. You just walked into the block of flats. And it's sad. You can't do that now. Anyway, have you done that? Or do you know anyone that's done that? Share your experiences with us. Have you sold up where you are now and moved back to the town that you grew up with as a child? Did it work or didn't it? Was it a big mistake? Or did you finally find, yeah, I should never have left here, even though perhaps the people around you had gone? Let me know. Email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at... Oh, hang on, have I got trouble? Is that blooming loose wire again? Just a second now. I'm sorry, I got a loose wire. I can see, you probably won't have heard any difference, but there we are. Let's try that there. That should be all right. It's all going wrong, horrendously wrong. It'll be all right once I put the wires back together when we redo the studio. Now, I'll give you the postal address as well, because we haven't done that for a long time, okay? The postal address, if you want to put pen to paper, grab a pen, is... Here we go. Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG42 9ED, United Kingdom. Once again, it's Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG42 9ED, United Kingdom. Be lovely to hear from you, one way or another. All right. Okay, let's have a look now. I think we're going to go to. Time for some emails, and we finished the last show with a little bit of an email from our Lisa, now a regular correspondent to the show, who sent us a nice picture. I've still got that picture of you, Lisa. Let me have a look. Oh, no, it's over there, darling. It's all the way over there. Sent me a rather... Let me see if it's there. I'm going to get that picture out again. 1 minute. 1 minute now. Oh, it's not. I thought I had that somewhere. 1 minute. Oh, wait, is it? Hang on, 1 minute. Oh, it's right under where all the camera and everything is. 1 minute. There we are. Here we are, Lisa. Oh, Lisa. There we are. She sent in a picture of herself wearing these sunglasses and looking rather nice. If you don't mind me saying so, Lisa, you are quite a pretty young lady, aren't you? She's got dark glasses. I don't know why she got the dark glasses. She must think she's like Beyonce or something like that. Da 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 da. Yes, the dark glasses. We've got the crimped hair and we've got the very smooth-looking skin. Oh yes. It's Lisa. We love Lisa. And she sent a couple of emails last week. We only got to halfway through one of them. I'll read it out again. Actually, the half kind of read out email because it wasn't that long anyway. She says, "Do folks in the UK like to wear sunglasses as much as we Americans love to wear them? Is it sunny enough there where you live to require sunglasses?" Well, yes, but not much of the time, to be honest, Lisa. I cannot lie, darling. I know that sometimes I say that here in Berkshire we have sun 24 hours a day, 7 days a week and all that business, but It's a little white lie, Lisa. It's only comedy, darling. It's only comedy. No. Yeah, we wear sunglasses. I've got a nice pair of sunglasses downstairs. I've got the prescription sunglasses, so they've got a little bit of a lens in. Not too strong. My eyes aren't terribly bad, but for driving, I should wear glasses, really. Am I long-sighted or short-sighted? I don't know. Well, I can read things, okay? But if I look at, like, road signs that are far away, they're a bit blurred. And if I put my glasses on, that corrects that. All right? So I have got those sunglasses. I don't believe... this. I'm sure this won't surprise you. I don't believe in spending vast sums of money on sunglasses. I really don't. I know some people that spend £200, $400 on a pair of sunglasses. I think it's dreadful. Absolute waste of money, dear. No, so I don't spend that. But yeah, I've got prescription sunglasses downstairs. And sometimes I wear them. If I'm doing a show from the garden, which you might have seen, was it a week or so ago? We did a couple of shows from the garden because it had warmed up. It's got a bit cold again now, but certainly in the summer, as I did last year, most of the shows will be coming from the garden because it's nice. And I really, really want to get out of the studio and indeed away from the house and do shows in other places, like, I don't know, by the sea or something like that. I said this last year and I never really got around to it. It's all a matter of time. But now, of course, that I have a couple of days off a week, I think I might have the time to do it. So looking forward to doing that. And of course, Lisa, if the sun is out, I shall be wearing my sunglasses. The sun has got its hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. The sun has got its hat on and we're going out to play. Chris Reardon's got his glasses on. Hip, 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 hooray. The sun has got Chris Reardon's glasses on and is going out to play. All right? There we are. So yeah, yes, it's not too much of a problem with the sun here. Lisa says, it seems like the movies and TV shows are often showing the UK to be a foggy, dreary, damp place all the time. Is that true? Or is it really like that only in the winter and fall or autumn, just like it is here in the USA? It's only like that in the winter. All right? Now, sometimes in the summer, we might have a bit of a cloudy summer where the sun can't get through the clouds. And that's always depressing because you know that underneath those thick clouds or above those thick clouds is shining the most brilliant sun. But sometimes, as we've had a couple of summers that virtually almost the whole summer is a bit overcast, which of course is no good for my solar panels, lovey. Is it? How can the sun beam down on my panels and create my electricity? It's a liberty, that's what it is. So hopefully we won't have a cloudy summer this year. Thank you, Lisa. I bet you've got a pair of expensive sunglasses, have you? Huh? From Sunglass City, or what was it called? Sun Hut or something like that. God, they're really dear, some of them, aren't they? Right. Let's say hello to a new listener. Oh, we need a bit of music. New listener, hang on. See if I've got a fanfare for you. The sun has... I can't get it out of my head now. The sun has got its hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. Let me see. We use that one. We use that one. This is very dramatic. It's an old thing off the television. We have a new listener. We certainly have, and we always like to make new people feel welcome, okay? We must say hello to Tom. Hello, Tom, who's in Chicago. Chicago, Chicago. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I might try and sing that on a future show for you if it's on my karaoke selection, okay? Because I do karaoke nights, Tom. If you're ever in London, I do a karaoke night at Belush's Bar in Hammersmith, in London. Very, very close to the tube station. Belush's Bar, every Monday night from 9 p.m, unless they're showing football on the big screen. In which case, we wait till the football's finished, and then we do the karaoke after that until about 12:30. You must come, Tom. If you come to London, put that in your diary. And don't just come in and sit quietly, okay? Come and say, hello, I'm Tom from Chicago, Chicago. Well, I mean, you don't have to sing at that point. But you must sing. If you come to my karaoke, you must sing, okay? So karaoke, don't expect it to be like quiet. Don't expect me to be quiet and reserved. I'm really sometimes quite outrageous there. I don't know why. I have instruments, and I like to play along to the people singing the songs along with the backing tracks. I have maracas, I have a tambourine, I have a triangle, and I have sleigh bells, boys and girls. And best of all, I have cymbals that come crashing at various points in the song. Not all the time. Only 2 or 3 times in the evening. But for example, I will use the cymbal on My Way, right at the end. Da 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 da. I just did it all, la la da da, boom, and I go crash, and they sing, I did it my way. Oh, yes. You must come. Belushi's Bar in Hammersmith. Anyone who's in my hometown of Bracknell, listening to the show at the moment, come down. Hammersmith is not far from you, dears. I can always give you a lift home to Bracknell. Yes? Belushi's Bar in Hammersmith every Monday night from 9 o'clock. I love it. I love it. Gwen comes down now. We've still got to get her on the phone soon. I think the next 2 shows we're going to be able to get Gwen on the phone, okay? Yes. Anyway, Tom writes, I started listening to your show on Live 365 around the 1st of the year, and I really enjoy the show. I've become perhaps one of your most dedicated listeners. We like dedication. Oh, dedication. Oh, dedication. That's what I need. If you want to be the best. If you want to be the rest. Dedication's what you need. Da, da, da. Roy Castle used to sing that on his TV programme, Record Breakers. He was very famous, Roy Castle. He was a trumpet player. And he hosted a few TV shows, and he very, very sadly died of cancer I think it was of the lung, or it might have been of the throat a few years ago, and he never ever smoked. It's very sad, isn't it? When someone gets a smoking-related disease and they've never smoked. He reckons he got it because all the time he was working in smoky clubs and things like that, playing the trumpet. It's a few years ago now, yeah. And, you know, it makes me wonder sometimes. Now, fortunately, here in the UK, we are now coming up to the 2nd year. I can't believe it's gone so quick. The 2nd year of not being allowed to smoke in clubs. Hang on, has that sound gone funny again? Sorry, I've got a real problem with one of the wires here. I've always had this problem. I don't know what it is. There we are. Sorted that again. You won't notice it when you're listening. Don't worry. And so, and it's marvellous. Now I can go to work and I don't come out stinking and as vile. And I wonder sometimes how many cigarettes I smoke. I gave up. I did smoke. I gave up. Must be coming on 16 or 17 years ago now. But of course, all the time I was working in nightclubs and bars and pubs, and I would be breathing this stuff in all blooming night long, and it's awful. However, 2 years down the line, and touch wood, you know, nothing. So perhaps that will have passed. I hope that the risk to that now. And now, the only thing is now, because I don't work in smoky places at all, you're just not allowed to smoke indoors anymore in public places. I think you notice one cigarette. If someone walks past my house, right, the path at the back, and they're smoking a cigarette, and I'm in the garden, do you know what? Sometimes I can actually smell that single cigarette, and they're nowhere near me. Funny, isn't it? And Tom writes, I become one of your most dedicated listeners as I have your show up to 9 hours a week. My God, how do you manage that? Oh, that'd do my brain in listening to me that long. How on earth can you sit there and listen to this rubbish for 9 hours every week, Tom? Come on. The reason for that is that I listen to the show at work and I'm away from my desk periodically throughout the morning. So I let the show play through over again until I'm confident that I have heard it in its entirety. Usually this is the second or third time though. Well, yes, I mean, otherwise... Where's my pen gone? Oh, there it is. Otherwise you might miss something, Tom. This programme, this show that I do, is it not like just one long soap opera? You see, and that's the problem. If you miss one, you don't know what you will have missed. For example, if you'd missed today's show, you wouldn't have known that my nephew was on school report, collecting ticks. Unfortunately, also collecting crosses as well. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to tell you. I said to my sister, are they red crosses? She said, no, they're all blue. Why? I said, not red. Surely ticks are green and crosses are red. She said, no, they're all blue. Oh. I said, what school are they? What sort of school are they running there then? They can't even use the right colours. Ticks need to be green and crosses red. Come on, you know I'm right there, don't you? I might actually write to the school. How dare they give my nephew a bit of paper with blue ticks and crosses on it? Come on, make it look authentic for Christ's sake, dear. Back to the email. Tom says, in regarding the pigeon invading your garden, do you remember that a couple of weeks ago? Being in an urban area, there are lots of pigeons. I like that. Pigeon. There are lots of pigeons here, and I've noticed some interesting behaviour. Oh. One pigeon, I've noticed, likes to ride the L train. That's EL. And he says that is like your tube train, but elevated above ground. He gets on at my stop and rides until the next station and gets off again. Are you serious here? I've noticed the same pigeon doing this several times now, and I wonder if he pays the full fare. You see, they're crafty little so-and-sos, aren't they, those pigeons? He's obviously a stowaway. He's a pirate. Oh my God, what if it might be a pirate pigeon? I reckon that pigeon is on the train trying to suss out the carriage. That's what's going on, you see. He's looking around at people. You watch that pigeon when he gets back on that train. Is he looking at people? He's working out who's got the money and who hasn't. I can see women on there now having earrings and things plucked from their ear. It's very dangerous. Tom, you better keep your eyes out, mate, and keep your wallet on your inside pocket in your jacket. That pigeon will have it, you know. He's sizing up the joint. That's what's going on there. Tom says, I think we all know that pigeons have a good homing sense, but if they're taking the trains, they may be smarter than they seem. I think you're right. And I bet you thought all they did was do their droppings on Lord Nelson. Yes, it's a sin, that is. Have you seen them all in Trafalgar Square flocking round there? The mayor of, who was the person who was mayor a couple of years ago, Ken Livingstone, I think he brought out this law that you're not allowed to feed the pigeons anymore. And I think that got rid of a lot of them because they couldn't get any food. I always put down food for birds. Do you? I never, if I've got a loaf of bread that's gone a bit stale, I never ever chuck it away. I always put it out on the garden area for the pigeons. And besides, the cat likes to play with them as well. So thank you very much, and nice to hear from you, Tom. I did write back for some more information. I asked Tom what he did for a job. And he says, I work in an office doing financial type stuff. Oh, he does money. There you are, you see, the pigeon knows. It knows. Knows what you're up to. They're not stupid animals, you know. I'm a stupid person, but they're not stupid animals, honestly. He works in an office doing financial type stuff, invoicing, accounts, that sort of thing. The company I work for owns several fine dining type restaurants in Evanston and other suburbs on the northern end of Chicago. Oh, that alarm's gone. Let me close that door. Because you can hear it. There we are. You could hear noises then, couldn't you? Noises. Worrying noises. The company I work for owns several fine dining restaurants in Evanston and other suburbs in the northern end of Chicago. So our corporate office is in Evanston. I myself live in the city of Chicago, but it's not very far, only 3 miles away from where I work. I normally take the train in the morning up to Evanston and often walk home after work, which is great when the weather's nice. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? Walking home. Why does everyone get in their cars all the time? My nephew and my sister and my niece, they always take the car everywhere. I don't know why that is. Chicago itself has lots to see and do, lots of museums, theatre, nightlife, professional sports. There's always a lot going on. So there we are. Thanks very much. And that's from Tom. Tom in Chicago, welcome along to the show. And that's where I must leave it today. Thank you as always. We've got some more emails to get through here. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address. All right, we'd love to hear from you, especially if you've never written before, just like Tom. Just join in, okay? Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll see you on the next show. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.